Hey YouTube, Tommy here. Thought I'd make a little quick video tonight about the oil field in Texas. 5 years ago past in April there. This is July, 1st of July 2024. I went to the oil field. My yellow truck on my own, went down there and just took a chance. I bobtailed down. I filled up my fuel tanks here, got me all the way to Texas, bobtailing, and I rocked up into Odessa, into the truck stop. I had a little drive to Midland to see what that was all about. Not a lot there. I thought, oh, let's go back to Odessa. Sat there in the truck stop and I watched the sand haulers coming in, all different companies, see who was working for Sandbox, see who was working for who. And then I just sat for an hour and a half, a couple of hours on a Saturday, and then eventually I thought I'll go over and talk to some of these drivers. I spoke to some of the drivers at the fuel pumps. Before I knew it, I had a number for a guy at Fort Faith, nice man, and I got a hold of him this Saturday night, and I said to him, hey, can I come, work for you? What's the deal? And he told me, he said, okay, there's a Sandbox class, orientation class on Monday. You need to be at that. Tell him I sent you. And then he says, but you need to have your rig pass and your H2S pass done. So I went and took those on a Saturday afternoon in a safety guy's living room, in his big screen TV there. Did all the thing, filled in the multiple choice, passed it. He sold me an H2S monitor and a hard hat, and I went to the Tractor Supply store behind it and bought one giant pair of fat guy jeans that were fire resistant and a sweatshirt that was fire resistant. Okay, April, 1st April, and it was hot. So I drove to the orientation on the Monday, got through that, and then lunchtime it was finished. Drove from La Mesa back down to Midland. I got a chassis trailer, and they show you how to work the app. I've logged on to the app. As soon as I logged on to the app, boom, I got a load instantly. So I went out on that. So that was the Monday afternoon, probably about 4 o'clock, get my first load. Went and did it. Once you figure out how to do it, you're nervous, didn't want to make any mistakes. And I did that, and in my first week, I done 10 grand gross in that truck. And I thought all my Christmases had come at once, and I didn't work on the Sunday. By Saturday night, I'd cut off. That was it, done. It might have been Sunday morning at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I finished, but that was my thing. And then Sunday evening, I would go back to it, and then the following week I did 10 grand. I did the same the next week, and that's how it was down there. And I bought another truck, and Paul came, and Wes came, and we were down there. We had a great time. And then the old pandemic came along and kind of killed the use of oil because nobody was going anywhere, right? You remember the big surplus that they had? Well, I was there during that, so we come out and got some reefer units. We got 3 reefer trailers and went to work with them. And just by the chance of it, it was when, remember the times you couldn't buy toilet roll and there was a shortage of all this and shortage of everything, and the rates went right up, and that was good. And then everybody got trucks, and then the rates went, and then the oil field went because of certain things in the country that were opposed to oil. So now here we are, and it's 1st of July. Something's happening in November. Don't want any political stuff on here. As I heard a quotation from on the Gary Neville Overlap TV podcast thing for football, soccer. He says, he asked a politician, he says, isn't it true that, I might not be quoting this exactly, isn't it true that politicians are just the other butt cheek of the same backside? I thought that was quite a good description. But anyway, there's an election in the UK on the 4th of July, and then there's one in November here. And if the situation in the country here changes, I'll have a direct effect in oil. It'll be good. You know, I know the rates in oil field dropped last month, and I'm hoping that they come back. I've got some older trucks that we're not pushing on it, but we've got one of them ready, another one's almost ready, and to go back down to the oil field. We went down there and it just didn't work out the last time. Don't know if we had the wrong drivers or what it was, or you're not there to push it as hard, you know. But I wouldn't mind getting a fifth wheel camper behind this, one of these nice 1-ton trucks, and dragging it down there and having that be the base for a little while just to see how it works. But the oil field, there are so many positives for working in the oil field. For one, fuel in Texas is generally reasonably priced, especially if you go at the gas stations with a couple of pumps, diesel pumps beside them for the high-speed pumps. The fuel is so much cheaper there. And then you've got that. You've got the fact that exposure, and I don't mean run around naked. I mean that your exposure is limited, because if you've got a refrigerated trailer we had one with a load of meat on it last week, and I thought, just if this reefer breaks, what do we do? If it's ice cream, what do you do? It just runs out the back, you know. Things go wrong with reefer units, and things go wrong with a truck, and I've had it, you know. We've got a truck sitting in Georgia right now that's getting a repair on it. If you've got a load that's time sensitive, you've got to somehow get the load repowered and get it delivered, and then your trailer's away from your truck, and then you've got to somehow get your driver in a hotel. Do you know what happens if you break down in the oil field with a load of sand? The next truck coming along picks it up, the trailer, takes it, delivers it, job done, end of. So that's a big thing. There's a lot less exposure down there with that. You may be hauling, I think the furthest load we hauled was 130 miles. I don't recall hauling anything further than that. Some of them are 45 to 50. Those are the best ones for me to haul, because the rates in the shorter loads are higher, less fuel, more profit. So the other pluses in the oil field are you don't need to have as fancy a truck. All you really need there is for the air conditioning to work, right? That's a big must have. But even better if you had an APU on it, because there's times where you'd be sitting in the truck stop waiting for work or waiting for the well to come back up, and it'd be ideal if you could switch your engine off and just run the APU to keep yourself cool. That would be a plus. But any time I've gone to the oil field, I've never really been set up properly for it. I've never been in that position where you go down there with the APU and everything that you need. You know, a lot of the guys have got they'll take their passenger seat out and they'll put a fridge in it, and they're kitted out. You know, they'll have a pickup truck with a tank in the back, fuel tank in the back of it. And if they're working out in Big Spring or somewhere a little bit remote, they'll get a pickup, they'll leave their truck there, and they'll have a pickup there as well. And these are the smart guys that are doing it. They'll leave if they're hauling out a La Mesa sand plant, and know that's what they're hauling out of, and they'll leave their truck in a kind of central location and have their pickup truck there, and they'll go home to Midland or somewhere where they can go to the Sam's Club, and they'll fill up their tank in the back of the truck with the cheap fuel there, and take it and fill up their truck that's paid off. They're hauling a trailer that some of you pay $150 a week for their trailers, and that includes tires, and you know, so there's guys that are really set up for it, and they're very efficient. We were just down there, didn't know what we're doing. We got a hotel because it's cheaper for 3 guys to be paying a hotel than it is to be running 3 trucks, you know. So plus you need to have somewhere to have your food, and that makes it more efficient. So we were more efficient in the hotel, but you can be even more efficient where, you know, if you don't have any truck payment, that's a big plus. If your air conditioning's working with an APU, massive plus. If you're getting cheap fuel at the Sam's Club or somewhere that's really reasonable, you're doing a lot of your own maintenance, you're carrying spare tyres with you, that if you have a problem, you know, jack it up. We've got a big gun in the workshop here. If I was going down, I'd take one with me and have it in the truck, and, you know, be able to do your own tyres, do your own brakes, because maintenance down there was expensive. But the oil field, I've always thought, you know, when I was up north, there's 2 different oil, don't be mistaken. North Dakota oil field is one oil field, Texas is another one, but they are so far worlds apart. To go up to North Dakota, don't think that because you're working in Texas that you just go up there and it'll be the same. No way. Up there, if you make a mistake, you're dead, right? If you do something stupid and you're out there and it's minus 25 and it's windy and it's snowing and, you know, it's dangerous, you know, very dangerous. Down there at Holland Sand down there, not so much. You're more of a small container driver. I don't want to knock it, but it's not got the same risk factor as it does up there. But to go up there, you need to be experienced to go up in the Bakken oil field. Yeah, the roads are not flat all the time. There's that, I can't remember the road, somebody will know it. I want to say 1842, or I don't know the number, forget it. It's a number like that it goes out to the Indian reservation from Williston going out the way, but it goes down and back up, and maybe it's better now, but it was a freaking killer. A lot of trucks went off on those roads. Your lights don't seem to work, you know, there's nothing much for them to reflect off of. In the snow, it isn't snow so much, it's just like powder that, and maybe it snowed once 60 years ago and it's the same snow that just seems to blow about in different places, like fine powder. But down in Texas, it's a bit of a, I think you could pass your CDL license. I know you can, because I've had guys do it. You pass your CDL license, and the best place to send them training is to the oil field, because you don't ever reverse, you don't back up, you get the fuel for the truck, for where you pull up to the dance floor to get unloaded, and then you may back up 10 feet and then pull back out, and you drive into the sand plant, you drive into the well. It's all designed to be safe, so you're always driving forward. If you drive backwards and on an oil pad, I did get into trouble for this once, if you drive backwards on an oil pad, you've got to get somebody to watch your back or you're in trouble. But the ELD, the log rules are different down there, and you know, it's a much easier way to be, you know, especially in October and November and December. Who wants to be hauling a reefer across Wyoming when you can be sitting in Texas in the sunshine? No sunshine all the time, but better weather, flatter roads, your truck's not getting worked as hard. If you're smart, you're not going to get stuck in the mud, you know, and take your rear ends out, your drive lines. But the oil field is going to be a big target for us this year, I think. We've got our reefers and flatbeds running, and it seems to be okay, and hopefully that just stays okay. I'm not going to get rich off of doing that. I think it's a steady way to make a living, but the oil field, some older trucks, if you can get them paid off, if you can get an old truck that somebody doesn't want and fix it up and go through it front to back and make it oil field worthy, oil field ready, and go down there, I think you make some money. I really do. If you're set up for it, you know, get yourself a tank in the back, you know, those ones that go down and underneath your toolbox. Get tools, be able to do some of your own repairs, keep on top of your truck, even buy a pressure washer and a hose that you can plug into somewhere and, you know, wash your truck off yourself. It's the way to go. I think it's the way to go. And especially if you don't have a truck payment. If you want to go home, guess what? The bank doesn't own you. The bank's not chasing you to give me the money, go pay for the truck. So those are the pluses for the oil field for me, you know. Plus as well, there's no reefer fuel. You don't have a big trailer payment. You don't need to have a fancy truck. It can be a complete dog actually, but if you get decent tyres and decent brakes and get some powerful lights so that you can see what you're doing, stick some lights on the back of it so that you can see what's in the back when you're going down the road. If you're going into somewhere, I would get some powerful spotlights on the side of the truck, to be honest with you, so that if I had to change a tyre at night time, I'd just flick on the floodlights and jack it up, done. But that's a big attraction for me down there, is to make money from nothing, if that makes sense. Don't want to go, okay, nowadays if you want to go out on over the road, you're probably looking at least buying a 2020, 2021 Freightliner. You're probably 21 Freightliner, you're going to be 65, 70 grand, and a reefer, you might get a used one for 25, 30, but if you're going to be doing it with the minimal risk that you would have in the oil field, you're looking at a brand new truck and a brand new trailer for peace of mind that you would have in the oil field, right? So if you break down there, oh well, somebody will come and hook on your trailer and drag your truck away for not a lot of money, you know. Then you fix it at your leisure. Whereas when you've got a truck payment on a brand new piece of equipment, if that goes down or your trailer goes down, that sucker's got to be repaired fast. So it's a safety thing going down there. It's easy, it's nice, it's better weather. Why am I not there? Anyway, that's my oil field versus the over the road thing. If a guy's just starting out in trucking, I think it's a place to be. Texas, there's something about it. You know, like I started off this video by saying, you know, 10-year-old, did I start this? Maybe this is the second time I've done it, but when I was 10, you know, in Scotland, 1978, Dallas was a thing, and Smokey and the Bandit was a thing, and there's me in my bedroom with a picture of a big Smokey and the Bandit truck above the fireplace, and then watching J.R. Ewing and this freaking oil industry thing. And when I've been in Texas, I've thought, I'm Tommy from Patna in Scotland. I grew up in a council estate there, and we had the coal fire in the winter time, no central heating, frost in the windows and the inside, and then all of a sudden, light years away, I'm driving a truck in the Texas oil fields. But there's always been something about Texas that I just think that the world seems possible. It's a frontier. It just is. I think that when you're in Texas, you've got a feeling that you can make it. You know what I mean? It's yours for the taking. And I think if a guy can get enough money to scramble together to get a $15,000 to $25,000 truck that's decent, I'm not talking about a piece of crap, and I don't mean something that's made out of all these fairings on it and all that stuff, because that's going to fall off, right? That's not going to be there. There's not a truck comes out of the oil field without that missing. But if you go down there with a decent truck that's an old Kenworth or an old Peterbilt or something that's with the rivets or the panels are riveted on and it's bolted together and it's not just put together with glue and fiberglass, you go down there and get a truck and go through it front to back, get your tyres good, get your brakes good, you know, make sure everything's okay on it. And I think if you're down there with that in a pickup truck, I think it'd be hard for you to fail, you know, and put in the time and put in the hours. Yeah, I'm talking myself into this oil field thing now. I better go do it. Right, that's it. Saddle up the horses. We're going to Texas, see? It's yeah, everything seems possible there, and I think the amount of people that have gone into trucking, don't go. Actually, I'm going to, don't forget everything I've just said. I want to go. Don't come and crowd it out. I get told off for that actually in a video. Thanks for showing everybody where all the eggs are stashed, or where you hide your nuts. Anyway, time for my bed. I'll go dream about being in the oil field. It's good. Plus the pilot's there, isn't it? You know the pilot truck stop? Yeah, pilot's great. Pilot sells meatloaf and mashed potatoes and corn. There's a good dinner for you. Okay, thanks for watching. Oil field versus over the road. You decide, let me know. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the wee bell button so that when we put a video out, you know about it. Thanks for watching.